Remember, my excellent drivers, you are responsible for the safe use of your vehicle and abiding by the state or territory rules that you are driving in, and that, of course, includes mobile phone usage.
Hello, my friends, and Happy New Year. Welcome to The Art of Confident Driving. I'm your host, Liz Lafferty. I'm looking forward to having a chat with you about many things, but most of all, how to be a confident driver. Let's talk motivation. Alrighty, so motivation in a new year, it's usually pretty high, but it's still something that we need to not only work on, but work on daily. And that's one of the hardest things, because if we don't work on it, be mindful about it, then it will just be a background noise, and then eventually it will be no noise. So whatever your goal is, whether it's to clean out a room, whether it's to lose weight, whether it's to quit drinking, whether it's to nail that parallel reverse park, or whether it's to learn how to drive, from moment one, you've got to be motivated. So something I say to all of my students when they're all talking to me about the test and how nervous they are, and especially test day, I say to them, look, guys, you have got a job to do. Think of it that way. This is a job. Your job is to drive safely and obey the road rules. So that's number one. And number two, you've got to picture what is your goal. Have that picture in your head. So I get them to picture themselves standing outside the test centre with a big smile on their face and the paper saying, I've just passed my test, here's my new license. And I can see their faces when I tell them to picture that. They are now literally picturing it. So once we've got that in our heads, we can then take the path to get us there. Now, whether it's to calm our nerves before test day, whether it's to finally start cleaning up that room, whether it's to eat healthier, it doesn't matter what it is. You must have the end goal. Now, some things are too big. Some jumps are too big to make and then you'll lose your focus. So what I'm talking about, the people trying to lose weight, if you try and lose 20 kilos, that's too much. It just won't happen. All right. Same with if you're trying to learn to drive. If all you're thinking about is the test, you've got so many more steps between that it might be daunting. It might actually put you off and say, nope, it's too much. It's too hard. I'm not going to do it. Okay. So what I want you to do is, if you are thinking about learning how to drive and that's your goal for this year, I want you to say to yourself, right, all I'm going to set myself up for the first month is to get comfortable behind the wheel. And what I mean by that is I'm going to be able to start and stop the car calmly and well and smoothly. I'm going to be able to steer with control. I'm going to be able to look at my surroundings and know what's going on. And I'm going to be able to stay calm. So all I'm going to do is back streets for a month. I just want to get my U-turns in my cul-de-sacs right. I want to get my corners right. That's all I'm going to do. That is such an important step. Now, I'm going to add a last step on that, and that is when you have made those first two steps, you then got to say, all right, how am I going to do this daily? So I say to my students, look, 5 minutes practice a day is possible for pretty much everybody, isn't it? 5 minutes. And you're thinking, oh, that's a lot of effort for 5 minutes. Well, yes and no. 5 minutes is better than 0 minutes, isn't it? And 10 minutes is better than 5 minutes. Get the idea? So if you can commit and say, right, 10 minutes every day, I'll do it before breakfast or after breakfast, or I'll do it before dinner or after dinner, and I'll go out and I'll practice and I'll grab my supervising driver and I'll make them motivated as well. And I'll say, come on, let's put on your favorite music. And I just want to have a nice little practice in a quiet back street. So you just sit back, relax, and I'll do all the hard work. Okay. So again, it's that thoughtful, mindful planning. And that way you will absolutely get the progress that you are looking for. And that's what you need to do. Progress. If you stop, we then get unmotivated. So I'll give you an example of myself. So when I was practicing karate, I truthfully, I didn't have the goal of the black belt, but I'll get back to that at another time. But along the stage where I was going quite well and I was quite proud of my achievements and my karate style, I was getting quite good. Unfortunately, I had an injury, so I had to stop for a week. I wasn't allowed to do anything for a week. And then unfortunately, I got a cold. So that was 2 weeks away from karate training. So I just had 2 weeks off. And the first week I was just upset because I wanted to get in there and get some more karate done. The second week I was even more upset because I'm like, I've already missed a week and now I'm feeling dreadful. And now I'm missing more karate and I might be missing something important. So by the third week, I was actually not wanting to go, which doesn't make sense because I loved it. And that's the problem. Our brain is so silly when it comes to memories and emotions that we often think, oh, I love that, I want to do it. But if we don't do it for a while, we then get nervous about going back and doing whatever it was. So we get silly, we get trepidatious, we get worried, and we think, oh, what if I do it wrong? And oh, I don't know. And that's the problem. Again, we've lost sight of our goal. So even if we do miss out on a little bit of practice, just say to yourself, look, remember the last time you were there? You had such a great time, didn't you? Well, let's go back and do it again. So you do often have to re-motivate yourself if you take a break or if something causes you not to be able to do the practice that you want to. But learning anything, you know you've got to practice. How many times have you heard that from your teachers? Practice, homework, whatever the case may be. We say it for a reason, and that is if you don't practice, you're going to A, start to forget what we've taught you, and B, it's not going to stay fresh in your body and memory. We do a lot of things in the car with muscle memory. So if we don't practice that, then the next time we jump in, it's gone again. And we're like, what the heavens happened there? Well, why couldn't I remember how not to move my foot when I'm using my pedals? Why am I moving my whole foot again? I practiced the pivoting. You know what I mean? So if we practice consistently, we are going to do so much better. Our goal is going to be there so much easier and everything will be much happier because you are constantly doing it. One other example, one of my friends is teaching her daughter how to drive. Yes, they're listening to my lessons. She said to me the other day, because I said, how's she going? And she said, oh, I can't tell you what a difference some practice makes. And I smiled and she said, you know how she was going before? She'd only do, a little bit of like half an hour once a week if we were lucky. And then when I'd say to her, look, you want to go out for a lesson? And she'd just say, no, I'm not interested, Mum. Then my friend said, well, we had to drive. There was a case where we just had to do a lot of driving. And I said to her, get into the car and let's just drive. So the daughter ended up doing a good 10 to 12 hours in a very short space of time. It was like a week and a half. So that for a learner driver is a fair bit of driving. And my friend said, yes, that really, I have noticed it. Her confidence level has come back up. She's feeling much better. In fact, she's actually excited to get behind the wheel again. So again, it's the practice, guys. Please, just 10 minutes is better than 0 minutes. Half an hour would be lovely. But if you can commit to that daily or at least every second day, no matter what your goal is, you will get there. Set an alarm on the phone if you need to. 7 o'clock every night. I've done the washing up for Mum or Dad if you're the learner driver, and now there's no reason for them not to come out and practice with me. All you parents out there laughing, yes, I know, I made a funny. We expect the teenagers to be doing stuff on their own. Well, some of them do. I've heard the stories, I've seen it. I'm hoping mine will end up that way. I think I will be dreaming. But anyway, let's get back to the motivation. Guys, just motivate yourselves. Go onto the websites and look up motivational messages and find one that really gets you going and print that out and put it on the fridge or put it on the bedroom door so that when you come in every night, you see that, yes, I've got to do that. Okay, motivate yourselves and trust me, when you get the practice, when you get the motivation, it'll all come together and you will get that wonderful goal that you've been looking for. Okay, so best wishes for those of you who are on the wonderful adventure to learn to drive. And if you are listening to my podcast lessons, thank you, first of all. And second of all, please listen to them in order. Okay, I've done those lessons in order, so you don't want to be jumping around too much. So just follow the lesson plan and you'll be absolutely fine. Practice, practice, practice. And whatever we're doing, whether it's karate, cleaning, learning to drive, if we do make a mistake, don't worry about it. Learn from it, get on with it, and get that motivation back and say, well, I made a mistake, but that's okay. Next time is going to be wonderful. I'll get it right. Okay? All right, guys, best wishes for safe and happy driving and a safe and happy new year. Catch you next time. And my full driving lessons are available on Apple Podcasts and the artofconfidentdriving.com website, where you will get access to instructional videos. Remember to relax and enjoy the drive. See you next time.